What up, gangsters? What up, gangsters?
Quite the afternoon, wasn't it? Have you recovered yet? There's more to come today. Macon de Dijon, stage 6 of the Tour de France. Hello, and a very warm welcome to our live coverage. It could be another sprint. The wind, however, is blowing. It's the start of another huge day of the world's biggest bike race. Superstars of yesteryear in attendance. Well, what about the star of all stars? It's number 35 for Mark Cavendish. Record breaker, all on his own. He's finally done it. Stage win number 35 at the Tour de France. Nobody has ever got near.
Well, I'm in a little bit of disbelief. Tour de France is bigger than cycling, isn't it?
While squeezing in between the very best sprinters, it was vintage Cavendish, surfing the wheels, dropped off by his team, but he did the rest. And it was like rolling back the years. Nobody could touch him. It was so popular as well.
I'm ecstatic, but I don't feel like I'm bouncing off the walls. It's almost like a relief, I guess, like a weight's being lifted. Take away that I've won 34 before, you know them people, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't.
Plenty of those.
You know? So if I'd never won a tour stage of tour before, and you got them people doing that, and I win now, it's the same as what I won, you know? You can't imagine what's gone into it. Been 19 days at home, you know, that amount of time away from people and the kids, saying, look, we just got this year to do it, and then we got all the time together in the world to do that, put the belief in, and yeah, just do it, innit? Congrats. Don't beat it. No, I won't. No worries.
I'm not sure that's a promise he can keep. In the meantime, apart from the obvious 35, Mark Cavendish also becomes the second oldest stage winner at the Tour, behind Pino Cenami in 1963. 16 years between his first and 35th.
So be it, but there was no question over it. But I think you could see by the way the boys rode today, you can see by the way the team that Vino had put together, that the belief that they had, matched the belief that we had and that he had. So yeah, I don't think it's quite sunk in, but I'm very happy for him.
And as history was being written before our eyes, we almost forgot an exciting battle for the green jersey was about to begin. Binyam Girmay now wearing the jersey. But it's not guaranteed, given these points differences, that anybody can rest on their laurels. It's up for grabs again today as we go to stage 6. If that hasn't got you wanting more today, I'm not sure what will. Or maybe yesterday's bike becomes the spare bike. There's a brand new paint job here. And well, that 34 on the back there needs an update. A brand new sticker. Because first there was Merckx, and now Cavendish stands alone. Let's have a look at how he won it with Jackie Durand. Well, we can see Mathieu van der Poel, who's here with Jasper Philipsen, ideally positioned, a little bit like last year. Oh, there's no issue. Let's do it this way. What's interesting to notice is that Cavendish, we were speaking about Mirko, he's not going to trust him. Cavendish will adjust his pace on Philipsen and van der Poel. We can see him around 800 meters from the finish line. Everything so far going well for van der Poel, who has Jasper Philipsen on his wheel. And then Cavendish is behind. He has a teammate here. I think this is Ballerini. Mirko sat up already, but thanks to his experience, he thinks that even if he doesn't get the support from Mirko Ballerini, he'll adjust his pace on the ones who shone last year on the Tour. And they'll rub shoulders, like always. No problem with this. Cavendish wants to be on Philipsen's wheel at all costs. And this is when everything goes wrong for Team Alpecin. We're around 250 meters from the finish line. Mathieu van der Poel launched the sprint. He'll go this way and deviate for Philipsen to be able to pass. But this is not all what will happen. we'll see that Mathieu van der Poel's nothing left in his legs. And Philipsen feels lost compared to last year. Cavendish also feels lost, but he'll find his way in order to stay in the slipstream next to Coquard. And then he'll find the gap. This is the moment where he impressed me the most. The wind is going that way. Cavendish is going to be clever. Usually you can't switch line, but we'll watch it again. We'll see the quick look right before for safety measures right here.
Il va par mesure de sécurité. Hop, voilà, juste avant. Là.
Go back.
Là, il regarde pour ne pas être déclassé, bien évidemment.
Of course, you know, we're not going to be disqualified. He does this, and Gibbons and Coquard would have been disqualified, but he sees that it's free, so he can change line. He comes here. Philipsen is uncovered from the wind, and everyone thinks that he's a great rider. He's capable of beating Cavendish, but he doesn't stay in his wheel. Philipsen not as strong as we thought. Moreover, Van der Poel wasn't capable of leading him out like he did in the past. And thanks to his experience, Cavendish won. And this is the team hoping to be better today if there's another sprint. Alpecin Koenig, hoping that normal service can be resumed. Last year it was all about Jasper Philipsen. Yesterday we saw, as explained by Jackie Durand there, that things can go wrong. Woo. We've just seen Jackie's take. What about Mark Cavendish's old mate, Bernie Eisel?
It was an absolute disbelief. I couldn't imagine him winning his 35th stage, and it's like also being in the commentary, watching it, I was like, no, this can't be true, this can't be true. The jury will look into it. There's something. And then it's the moment when he crosses the line, I was just like, I started reflecting what he just achieved now, and it's just, I couldn't be more happy for him, but at the same moment, all this now, I mean, I was part of that story, that legacy, but at the same time, a small part, because I think this is literally for him, Peter and the kids, because the sacrifices he did the last 2 years, especially this year, he hasn't seen the kids, he hasn't seen his family, and the joy crossing the line, Peter is there, the kids are there. I think that just put some more tears in my eyes.
Emotional for Bernie Eisel and Mark Cavendish's family. Everybody close.
Pretty good.
Not just the Project 35 this year, but all down the years. You heard in the introduction there, 16 years between first stage win and number 35. And one of the managers who's played a part in that is the boss at Soudal Quickstep, Patrick Lefevre.
Patrick, on a vécu une journée
Patrick,
historique.
we experienced an historical day yesterday. How did you feel that you were there for that victory? I was on the bus for the finish, just like every day until now. Of course, everybody knows the relationship we have with Mark. And on their bus, they screamed as if it was one of our riders when he won. So we're a bit torn between Jakobsen and Mark, since Fabio still has a lot of time for us, but we were supporting Mark. Did you think that he was capable of winning that 35th victory? I have to tell you, I had some doubts, because when I saw him suffering on the first day, I had some sympathy for him. But I know he's a tough rider. Along with Marco, they know how to calculate the distance and the time. On the second day, I saw he was getting better. The Galibier was tricky due to the time limit, and he handled that quite well. And you're part of the people who boosted him as well. You were behind him. Did I really boost him? I think he did it himself. I gave him the opportunity and he took it. He doesn't owe me anything, but I'm very, very proud to have done it. Long-time boss of Soudal Quickstep. You see a man who was further down in the sprint yesterday in Fernando Gaviria. And a green jersey for the moment for Binyam Girmay. Green jersey means a green bike too for the Intermarché man. So that's the scene has been set. Let's now go to our experts on site as they look ahead to what's to come.
We're standing here at the start before stage 6 in front of the Astana bus, and I can tell you there are a lot of fans, journalists, everyone wants a piece of Astana and obviously Mark Cavendish. Guys, Matt, we witnessed something very, very unique yesterday.
We certainly did. I think everybody on the race, and wherever people were watching the images on television, on their phone, they'll remember where they were when Mark Cavendish took that win. I mean, I'm still buzzing from it. I actually, weirdly, I'm not told you this, I had a dream about it again last night. That's how infiltrated it is. But it was a moment of pure joy, and one that we'll remember forever. And the thing that sticks out for me is just every single rider just went up to him and tried to congratulate him amongst the melee. It was an absolute joy to be a part of.
And he's now on 35, but Jensi, why should he stop now? We know Mark Cavendish. We talked about it yesterday. When he first gets the sense of winning, he's the best sprinter in the world, isn't he?
He is. Sprinters, they run the entire show on a lot of confidence. Now, he got all the confidence he needs. And yes, he's up for more. He is basically like a shark in the water. He smells blood and now he wants more of it. So yes, Mark is out there and he is going to go for more.
What do you think about today, Matt, and regarding the chances of Mark?
You can't rule him out. I certainly wouldn't want to bet against him today. How he reconfigures, how he recovers remains to be seen. But he'll be riding on the crest of a wave. So yeah, I think he could go for it again, definitely.
Let's see what's on the menu for today for Sir Mark Cavendish and the rest of the riders.
Well, they'll be keen as mustard for another sprint. I knew someone would go there, sorry. Mâcon to Dijon, 160 odd kilometers, 163.5 to be precise. One King of the Mountains climb coming early, but watch out for the wind coming from the west throughout the day as riders travel due north. Just 1,165 meters of climbing. Nothing or nobody gets in the way. We should be heading for another sprint. But if that wind is blowing, the nerves may well be fraying. Off to Dijon for stage 6 of this 111th Tour de France. A popular figure at the start, Biniam Girmay, generous with his time as he tries to win a second stage at this tour. Made history for his nation and his team. Victorious the other day. Arnaud Delis will be trying as well. He's been close, a little further away yesterday than he was in Turin. The Belgian bull all ready to go. As are we. Let's go back to the ground.
We are here today in Mâcon before stage 6, and Louis Pierre, on paper it looks like another bunch sprint, but if we look at the course, if we look at the weather forecast, possible crosswind all day.
Yes, during the whole day, more or less the whole day. We'll start here in Mâcon. Until now, on the first climb, we will have cross tailwind, and then we have a really, really long part to go to Dijon with crosswind. But the weather forecast don't say the same thing, you know. For some of them it's little wind with only 12 kilometers per hour. For some weather forecasts it's 19, so everything can happen. Then we'll have a small part, they will turn on the right with a big tailwind, and then at the end to go to Dijon, crosswind again with gusts. So everything can happen today. We can have echelons, but nothing's sure this morning.
And Jensi, with the years of experience you have in the peloton, possible crosswind all day, it means it's going to be a nervous bunch, doesn't it?
Yes, going to be a nervous bunch. I believe the key words are discipline and communication. Show discipline, stay together as a team, as a group. Then you can overcome problems in the crosswinds. Communicate a lot. Where are you? Where's my leader? Where's my teammates? These are the key points for today. It's an 800-meter finishing straight. So I believe it is important to have a good team, a good lead out. We will see a properly organized sprint today.
And finally, who's your favorite for today?
Jasper Philipsen will get it together with the world champion leading him out.
Arnaud Delis for me today.
Let's see if it's going to be Phillips, Arnaud Delis, or Mark Cavendish today on stage 6.
All ready to go again. Family in tow once more. What a celebration, what a moment that would have been yesterday. All the sacrifice. Bosses, not just current, but former, coming to say hello and share, pass on their congratulations. But there's another job to be done. Let's go and hear from the sprinters teams with Hannah.
The sun's shining. It's another day for the sprinters on paper, from Mâcon to Dijon. Mario adds, what are the conditions out on the course today for the riders from Mâcon to Dijon?
Conditions are a bit windy, as we can feel here now. So there are open parts on the parcours. There is a slight chance of rain also until about 3 o'clock, so, but not too much. But the wind might affect a little bit more the race, yeah.
Do you think a lot of the teams will be very nervous and concerned about the wind in terms of positioning and potential splits in the peloton?
GC teams for sure. They have a lot at stake in the GC, so they are always nervous, and the least threat, they are in big numbers trying to get the first position. So, and them being nervous makes also all the rest nervous. So I'm guessing it will be a nervous day again.
A nervous day, a little bit of concern, but what about the run into the finish? Because talk me through that final kilometre and where a sprinter needs to be if they want to be victorious into Dijon.
Yeah, it's not only the final kilometre, it's just before. We have this big chicane actually, and a little narrowing, 1.7 to go. And from there on it will go pretty fast till the last roundabout. It's a huge roundabout, but after the roundabout the road goes very slightly up. So a very good finish for us, but there are more than one candidate, of course, in the Tour.
Absolutely. Well, this Tour de France is stacked with all the sprinters. Arnaud Delis has already taken 2 top 5 placings, and Lotte Destiny will be hoping to have their arms aloft into Dijon today. Mario, thanks a lot and best of luck.
Thank you.
35 for Cavendish. We'll be seeing number 1 for Delis. Lots can still happen. You know what usually happens, though, when he wins one? That man in the turquoise jersey. Yes, you're right. Quite a few normally follow. Second oldest Tour stage winner ever, and the oldest since the 1960s. In the meantime, the general classification, we think that the battle's on hold on freeze today until tomorrow and the time trial. However, if the wind's blowing, there will be nerves. Pogacar in the lead by 45 seconds from Evenepoel. And the countdown is on. Back in the polka dots today is Jonas Abrahamsen. That's because the green jersey belongs to Bini. Still plenty of smiles on the faces. Some serious heads on as well. Perhaps a bit more of a carrot dangled for those in with a shout of getting in the breakaway today. And the good news is that Mars Persson will start despite the crash in the finale. Oh, these are the streets of Mâcon. Shame we're not getting the beautiful sunshine we are habitually accustomed to, I should say. Cloudy weather today. Bit of rain yesterday. Slight bit of wind forecast for later. I wonder what Intermarché and Eka Visbeg have to think about it.
Eka Visbeg, you've got the green jersey with Biniam Girmay, another piece of history, being the first African to wear the green jersey in the Tour de France. Does this now turn your attention and your focus to try and defend this jersey now throughout the Tour?
Yes, it's, we are very proud and happy that we have the jersey. Today the plan is to go for Biniam with the lead-out train. and we see how we get through this day.
The weather conditions, it's raining here at the start, but of course the wind is going to play a factor too, particularly with the crosswind. Are you quite nervous about what is to come?
No, not nervous. I mean, we bring strong riders for this. We have Hugo Paes, Laurens Rex, strong guys. Mike Teunissen, these guys almost never miss a crosswind split. So I think we're very well equipped for this stage.
How important is that for Biniam Girmay, and particularly for Gerben Thiessen, because it could also be a stage which suits him? How are you balancing two sprinters and two objectives?
Yeah, well, we made a plan before the tour, and we executed it very well. So it takes the pressure off both. Biniam didn't want to have the pressure of the lead out in the first day. He's confident now, and now it's the right moment to go for Biniam. He has the green jersey. He also grows. He feels better and better by each day. And if it's a hard stage with crosswind, I would say it only favors him.
Are you seeing him grow each day in terms of, on the bus, his character, maybe a little less pressure and nervous?
Yeah, well, we want him to really get into it. And he's confident now. You see it also. He fights for his position. He's growing in the race. His shape is going up like we expected. So, yeah, we have to make use of that. And I think it was the perfect start for Biniam.
Thanks a lot, Eike. Best of luck today.
What a start to the tour it's been. First yellow for Baldi. Best French start since the 60s. The first ever black African to win a stage. Lightning fast up the Galibier with climbing records broken. And then Mark Cavendish winning a 35th and record-breaking stage. What is next for the tour? We're not far from finding out. Just 7 kilometers to go until kilometer 0 and the start of day 6. We'll be on Chateau Watch as always. The particular castle on the screen turned into a museum. They had an extra time to go sightseeing this morning. I think the legs are tired enough now to want the extra hour in bed. Bunch on their way to kilometre 0. Stage 6, Mâcon to Dijon. It's the Tour de France. Surreal atmosphere about things yesterday evening, wasn't there? Wherever you're watching, whatever you might have been personally invested in. The story of stories, and there is nothing more powerful than a good story. Part of that story was a crash for Mats Pedersen on the way in. Thankfully, he's able to start again today. Let's hear from his sports director, Stefan de Jong.
Stephen de Jong, after that crash yesterday, how is Mats Pedersen feeling this morning ahead of stage 6 of the Tour de France?
A bit sore, but that was to expected, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, his shoulder is pretty painful. So, yeah, we have to see how much pain he can handle today.
I believe there's no fractures for Mats Pedersen, and he's going to try his best to try and get through on another stage that arguably favours him.
Well, the muscle is quite damaged, so they can see no fractures, but yeah, maybe it's possible that in a few days or in 10 days they will reveal one. But anyway, it's not completely, how you say that, broken, so no fractures for the moment.
It is a stage that suits Mats Pedersen today. Is it something he's going to try and go for? Is it you have to see throughout the stage, try and manage the pain and see how he feels?
At this point, I think it's about managing the pain, so yeah, we will see. I think there's intermediate sprint soon, so there for sure I think we will see how it will go now, and then he will tell in the radio how he feels.
It's a real judge of character. Just moments ago, he's popping his head out of the team bus behind the curtain. He's still seems in good spirits despite that yesterday.
No, luckily he is, and yeah, in this match he's a true leader now. He will not put his energy down and show the team that he's weak, so he's a good leader.
Thanks a lot, Stephen. Best of luck today.
That was the view from Lidl Trek. Mechanical issues for Undermarché, but plenty of time to sort them. As we have a look at the Pont Saint-Laurent leaving Mâcon. And the front pages and back pages of the newspapers across the world were a good view this morning. That photograph plastered all over. For l'équipe, the cannonball became the cannibal. Passing of a title. The peloton taught a lesson, a history lesson. Let's go join our commentators for day 6, Sean Kelly and Carlton Kirby.
Welcome everybody. Well, what a day we had yesterday. And what a race this has turned out to be. This tour has had so many jewels to ponder. Double French victory in the opening couple of days. Gamay, his stunning performance on behalf of Africa. Then, of course, that day to Valois. And then, of course, Mark Cavendish making it 35. Where did he come from? A rock in the Irish Sea. And yesterday he rolled everybody, didn't he? Absolutely magnificent. His primary suggestion about himself is, he said, I'm just a man. Well, he stood very tall yesterday. His family helped him, of course. I think snapped him back into reality as the tears just started to well up inside of him on that podium. And he called them to him, and suddenly he seemed to enter a state of serenity, Sean Kelly, like the biggest task that had ever been laid before him, and he's had many, had finally been achieved.
Well, yes, I think, you know, what an achievement. And we could see there yesterday the excitement, you know, at that finish when he got that record that he was looking for last year. Unlucky crashed, and this year, difficult start to the tour for him, but, you know, an amazing rider, and the talent he has got. We've seen that for, you know, so many years. He just keeps coming back from injury, and he had some difficult times during his career, and to come back out of this start of the tour so quickly, I was expecting maybe to show yesterday a bit, then today a better opportunity for him, but not at all. We see the way he drifted the wheels there, and, you know, he's so good at that, and that's his really forte point during his career, the way he can follow the other sprinters, get the opening and get the victory. And, you know, and in the way he did it yesterday, winning so comfortably, you know, just when he kicked, went away from everybody else.
Well, here's our predictor for today. This is how it stands for now. Bobby Traxler seems to be the man in charge. Alberto Contador keeping him within range, and Baranovsky also in the frame at the moment. It's very tight, though. Who are the picks today, though? That's the big question.
It has been an amazing start of the Tour de France so far. Not so well for my predictions at the start of the tour. Therefore, I have to come with a win today, and I say that Mark Cavendish will win stage 6. We know Mark, when he first gets the sense of winning, he's basically unstoppable. Therefore, I think we will get a mustard with the flavor of Sir Mark Cavendish in Dijon.
Nobody picked Mark Cavendish yesterday. What about today? Well, Iliana says stage 6 of the Tour de France, and I choose Jesper Philipsen for 2 reasons. One, because with the new rules of the predictor, you can't choose the same rider for 2 days in a row, and so I have to let the ball Arnaud Delis to somebody else. And secondly, because we've seen that he isn't as dominant a sprinter as perhaps people would have thought. Alpecin needs a win, wants a win. Jesper Philipsen, she says. Here's Bobby Traxel.
De 35e overwinning voor Mark
Well,
Cavendish.
the 35th victory for Mark Cavendish became a fact yesterday. Fantastic victory for Sir Mark Cavendish. Today marks the first Dutch stage victory in this Tour de France, because Dutch champion Groenewegen is going to win today's stage. He'll be the best and will win.
Delis, nee, niet Delis, het is Groenewegen die wint. Niet de Belgische
Oh man, it's Delis that's going to be winning. It's Groenewegen who wins. Groenewegen. Well, Well, among our other experts, the picks are Dilly, Phillipson and Cavendish. Who will get it right this time? All are going for Cav. Quite right. Well, the thing about Mark Cavendish, Sean, as Adam Blythe pointed out brilliantly yesterday, is that once he gets the taste, as you're often saying yourself, he usually multiplies. 2008 he won 4, 2009 he won 6, 2010 he won 5, 2011 he won 5, 2012 he won 3, 2013 he doubled up, 2015 slim year, won 1, 2016 he took 4, 2021 famously 4, of course, while riding brilliantly for Quick Step after the tears of Gent Wevelgem in 2020 when he basically said it was all over. Patrick Lefebvre helping him to believe that it was not. So, when you look at all of those winning years since 2008, only one of those winning years, Sean, did he single out, and that was 2015. He's won one here. The odds are, according to that, he's up for another.
Well, we know the way the sprinters, you know, they live a lot on the conference, and when they win a stage, then you get the big confidence back, and that is going to be the case for Mark Cavendish. And yeah, it is going to be an interesting one today. But when you look back at Cavendish's career, you know, the stage he won, multiple stages, many years, that big lead-out train was something that they were able to dominate the front of the peloton. It's not working anymore for any of these teams. And we see Alpecin yesterday, you know, doing it. And a lot of the sprint teams are trying to do that, but they can't keep that control on the front with their sprinter, with 3 or 4 teammates and their sprinter there just waiting to kick off in the sprint. It's just messy, and it was messy again yesterday, and that is the problem here. You know, you have to be able to get your position, and Cavendish, you know, he's really good at that, of, you know, surfing the wheels of the other sprinters, and that's the problem for a lot of the men here, and that will be the problem again today, you know, to get just to work out, be in the right place. Mark Cavendish manoeuvred it, you know, magnificently yesterday, and will he be able to do it again today? Because yesterday he didn't have the team in the end. They did a lot of work earlier on, but he had to do it on his own yesterday in that very final. But he's the one can do it. But you know, it doesn't always fall the right way in the sprint. You can get, you know, held up, you're boxed in a bit there, and then it's over. So that is the problem here in those sprints for Cavendish and for the other sprinters as well.
Well, yesterday it was quite a benign day on our approach. I think it's fair to say we did have a breakaway of sorts with Clément Rousseau and Mathieu Verchères, who was given the Combativity Award. Verchères from Total Energies and Groupama Francis Clément Rousseau. Today, different kettle of fish, Sean, because we have an intermediate sprint coming very, very early on in the day, and that's going to tempt a few. We do have a short categorized climb as well, and with the threat of wind later on, this could be a very busy day. How much can a breakaway expect from today as a potential? With so many teams interested in a sprint finish, it's going to be dramatic. But the wind, if it does blow up, and it's predicted to do so after the halfway mark within today's stage, this is potentially going to be difficult to call.
Yes, well, this could be a very nervous stage, and you know, for the breakaway to get away again, you know, will they be allowed? How many riders will be allowed? Are there many teams interested in going in the breakaway? Because we did see yesterday, you know, a familiar situation today. It's going to be the sprinters teams are controlling, and they will be on the front of the bunch, not allowing too many riders to get away. But the wind conditions, you say, Carlton, that later could cause a problem, because if it does blow quite strongly, as the forecast is predicting a bit, then you could have the race opening up, and you know, the break would be swallowed up. If they have 2 or 3 minutes, they'd be swallowed up in a number of kilometres if the side winds kick in there. And then we could see the race breaking apart, and we might not have all the sprinters in that leading part of the peloton with the lead-out men, and all of that will have a huge bearing as we go into, you know, the final here in Dijon this evening. So yeah, it's not a straightforward day for the sprinters teams to control if the wind does blow up and it's really strong side winds.
Let's see. It certainly could be a nervous field out there with the with some high speeds. The wind at the moment is nothing too much to worry about. We're blowing at about 7 to 9 kilometers per hour, but it's moving from a northwesterly down to a westerly. And as we're heading due north today, that means side winds are going to be slamming into them. Bit of a headwind, cross headwind when we get to our climb. But honestly, by the time we are halfway through today's 163.5 kilometers in total distance, It may even be gusting up to 30+ kilometers per hour. We're hearing an average for the second half of the stage of around 19 or 20 kilometers an hour. That's tough to navigate. It's going to make for a nervous field, high speeds, bad for a breakaway, but exhausting for everybody, and that means that we're less certain about our sprint hierarchy at the end of the day as well. It's all to play for. Absolutely on cue, kilometer 0, and the next page has been turned. After the magnificence of Mark Cavendish's 35th Tour de France stage win yesterday, can he double up? Well, let's wait and see. He's had a night to enjoy it before we ask that question. He's certainly capable of doing so, but this will be a nervous field today because the wind that's going to blow up in the second half of the day. We've got rain, we've had drizzle this morning, and as you can see, there's rain in the Vales, which means travails for absolutely everybody once we're dealt with our first climb. It's not much of one, it's a Category 4 test. They're all through the opening bits of elevated street furniture here safely, thank heaven. Same couldn't be said yesterday, unfortunately, for Mads Pedersen, who took a tumble. He has started, which is good news. How much of a slam down he took is anybody's guess. Will Jasper Philipsen string together the sprint team later on, and on a straight road, straighter than yesterday? Yes, we do have a roundabout to navigate in the last 600 meters, but honestly, we await, Sean, as we pay homage to the greats.
Yes, we see there it's calm for the moment, and you could see, you know, a lot of riders wanting to be in the position, but nobody really going in the attack. And yeah, you can see there is the Lotto team are keeping the control here with Bora, Red Bull Bora, but you know, a mixture of teams all across the road. But they are going at quite a fast rate here. But will this last? That is the question. You know, everybody wants to hold the position here. They will ride like this for a while, but it might knock off. But again, you have to be in the front here, because when it's that nervous, the only place to be is in that top 20, 30 riders.
Mark Cavendish is in wheel 2 at the moment. Early break, Sean?
Well, he's hardly going to go in the breakaway.
I think he wants us to talk about him as if we haven't already.
Well, I don't think we need to. We need to get him up there to talk about him, because.
Exactly.
But yeah, to be up there, that's what he's thinking. You know, be in the safe position and hover around the front here, not, you know, give too much of an effort there, and just wait till it settle a bit. And that's what a lot of the sprinters will be hoping, that it will settle down here until we get into that section where it's a bit more open, the possibility of the side runs. But as you can see, there's that nervousness here in the front of the peloton, and everybody is just on alert.
They are. There's no chit-chat here, Sean. They're all on a hair trigger for the time being. And I guess, oh, look at that. That's a man who's a Superman down the road on his left-hand side. That is not a pleasant picture. Mads Pedersen bandaged up, and the rain's coming down, Sean, just to add to the nervousness.
Yes, and, you know, Pedersen there, when you see 62.4 kilometers per hour when he crashed, like, that is amazing. We can see, you know, the road rash he's got here, and we did hear from, you know, the team director, Sportif. He has some muscle damage. Not surprising, but amazing thing that he's still in the race and he's back on the bike. When you see those guys, you know, the way they go down, they hit the road at that speed, but they're back on the bike the next day. You know, they're hard guys, and yeah, he's just going to try and get on here, and hopefully he can get through today and the next number of days and come round and, you know, go for something later on. I don't think we will see him up there in the fight today, but the rain coming down, as you say, Carlton, again, that's going to make it that more nervous again. When it's already nervous, as we can see there, the first number of kilometres, the last thing they want in the peloton is this rain shower.
I don't know whether that was a flash of lightning. I think it was. And if we have an electric storm, that can cause absolute havoc with the relay pictures from on site. So let's keep our fingers absolutely crossed, shall we? At the moment, everyone taking it sensibly. The Col de Bois Clair is going to be peaking in 5 kilometers time. It's quite a modest test to start us off today, but it could be a launch pad, Sean, especially for those who are thinking of rolling on for the intermediate sprint. There's possibly too many in the green jersey competition, which is very tightly fought for at the moment. The green jersey, of course, on the back of Biniam Girmay. They're not going to want to let anyone go on the first peak, which probably explains the compression of the pack at the moment, and that indeed holds its own dangers, doesn't it, Sean, so close together?
Well, that's why it's a little bit nervous here. You have that first climb here, which is 1,600 metres, but you know, it's a 6% climb, so it's an opportunity. If somebody have the plan to try and go up the road, form a breakaway, it could be the launch pad, and then the intermediate sprint point. So yeah, the earlier part is an important couple of kilometres here, and that's the reason we can see a lot of the GC teams up very much to the front as well in the mix there.
Well, we've just seen a whole bunch of what looks like black scribble on the floor, and that is overbanding. And any corner that has that kind of road repair is going to be a challenge. The road is damp, or dampening, I should say. There's a lot of inherent heat held within it because we've had some hot days here. So the evaporation rates will be quick. And it looks like in this part of the course, we've just been through only a couple of 100 metres ago. There was plenty of brollies. There's a few being displayed here right now as well, as you can see. I'd describe it as light rain, Sean, but it may well intensify. Let's wait and see. But nonetheless, so many different factors for them all to ponder, and it's too much for anyone to have a clear answer. So they're locked together for now.
Yes, and we can see it's just slowly, I think, slowing a little bit, but again, you know, it looks like at the moment it's going back up again, the speed, and we can see 49 kilometers per hour they're traveling at here. The rain shower, I think the DS will be saying, okay, this is a rain shower, guys, it's going to blow off, and you know, give them the good feeling and give them that little bit of hope. That's what you've got to do here. But I think it will be like that as well. You know, we're going through a bit of a shower here, and it will dry off pretty quickly. We did see it yesterday as well. You know, we had the same, so let's hope that is the way and make it a bit safer for those guys. But yeah, it's a totally different scenario from yesterday. We could see the way they were just you know, playing around yesterday and having a little bit of a joke, and riders, you know, going up the road, and it's not the case today. This is serious for the moment, as you can see, they're just all, you know, really focused here on the front of the peloton.
Victor Caminazzo was busy on the nose of the chase yesterday, is here again. Vingegaard, I never know quite whether it's a smile or a grimace as far as he's concerned. Looks like he may well have just shared some jollity with those around him. Lovely at the start this morning to see an embrace between Mark Cavendish and Remco Evenepoel, who was the latest to add his congratulations to a long list of those. They almost had to issue tickets to queue up to pat him on the back. Said yesterday he probably could have done with some padding in his jersey, for goodness sake. So many people. That was the point, wasn't it, Sean? So much goodwill washed over him, and he just felt a little bit numb by the look of him, by his own admission as well.
Yes, well, I think he was a little bit shocked, and I said that yesterday evening at the finish, you know, just to realise it, what was happened. I think it took a little bit of time even for Mark Cavendish for it to sink in, but yeah, the riders, everybody was congratulating him there, and of course, you know, it's normal. The record he achieved yesterday, getting that, you know, win, amazing in cycling, and you know, it's just going down in history, and it's a great thing for cycling as well. You know, what a start to the Tour de France is having here, you know, with the fringe success in the end, in the beginning, the first days, then, you know, the main man taking over the race leader, Jerzy Pogačar, Cavendish getting the record. Like, it is just a dream start for the guys here, and Girmay getting you know, his win as well into the green jersey. All of that, you know, this is just for the organisers. You know, that is just an unbelievable start for having this tour, and yeah, it's just an amazing race, and it's just going to go on now, and we can see here things are just settling a little bit, and you know, that's what I was expecting, that it would be nervous at the start, but things are starting to calm a little bit.
Looks like the rain is abated 14 kilometers per hour. Now it's picking up. Looks a little bit more than that, as you can see. We're expecting it to pick up as the wind direction moves from the northwest to a westerly to around 20 k's an hour. 20 kilometers per hour as an average we're expecting the wind to blow up to, but gusting to 30 plus. which means that when we get into open countryside, and we will be on this relatively flat stage, just over 1,100 meters of altitude gain today, so it is pretty level despite what we're wavering through at the moment. This is just coming up to our little peaklet, which we'll be hitting the top of in around 3 kilometers time. It's not the longest or most difficult test. Wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if Abramson pops up and suddenly decides that he's going to try and add to his tally. He wears the polka dot jersey. He's been a little bit anonymous so far because everyone's just wanting to stay safe, and there's not much room out front, quite frankly. They're all warning each other. The proclivity of the local councils to start building dividers within the highway is a strange one in these parts of the world. It was generally to stop you going down junctions when the old give way to the right was in operation. And they've kind of left them behind on the roads, it seems, and even amplified them, making them higher on occasion, and that can cause all kinds of worries. We saw Tadej Pogačar involved in a crash. He didn't go down himself, but essentially just a shilly showing to avoid one of those central reserves, if you will, causing an accident behind him. And there's quite a few carrying bandages out there, and they don't want any more of that, Sean.
No, and talking about Tadej Pogačar yesterday, he had a close one there.
Very.
And his bike handling, you know, excellent. The way he managed to just scrape around that post there.
It was a snap move in half a metre, Sean. It was amazing.
Amazing. And, you know, that is the risk of a bike race. Yellow jersey. At any moment, you know, things go wrong, and all this street furniture, and there's more and more over the years. It just makes it such a danger one, and you know, you're never safe at any point during the stage, and that's where you have to be alert. And even though the riders we did see there, as you mentioned, Carlton, they're always calling and giving the hand signalling. Sometimes they give a shout or something coming up, but there's so many of those obstacles on the road. There's times when the riders, they don't see them, because a rider in front of you, he just decides to make a sudden move and he moves out, but suddenly it appears in front of you and you're just there 2-3 meters from when you're going at 50 kilometers per hour, and sometimes you just need to have that little bit of luck as well, and that's that's always in bike racing, right through the stage, in the final. You're always hoping, and you always say to yourself, I hope I'll have luck in this one, and I don't have a problem and get tied up or go down in crashes.
Well, it's not the Alps, is it? 1,600 metres with an average of 6%. There we are. But nonetheless, a little bit of a test. Possibly could have been a launch point, maybe with different weather and a different forecast up ahead, or maybe with some different results. But what a series of days we have had. And what lies ahead today? Well, we just don't know, and that's what is so wonderful about this race. As Sean was saying, the organisers have had themselves just a party so far. It has been absolutely magnificent. So it's the usual suspects just guiding those up this mound, Sean. I can't really describe it as anything more than that. They're kind of going to roll over it, so I can't see Abramson popping up. There's no room.
Well, we see that yesterday. He wasn't to be seen, and suddenly 300 metres or a bit less, he started to appear, and had to push a little bit, take a bit of risk to move up. But again, a fourth category, 1 point here. He's not going to, lose the jersey. So will he start appearing? Is he about there? No, he doesn't seem to be in the front end of the peloton at all. So, it's going to be a one where somebody else looking like that is going to take the 1 point up for grabs here. But this little climb here and the intermediate sprint, I think that's what they're concerned about, that there could be some action, and there's a lot of guard on the front of the peloton.
Certainly is. Painted road sign there said Cavendish the legend. I've got a feeling that the Pickwick Bicycle Club have been out there with some emulsion and a few rollers earlier this morning. I know they had a busy night last night. We wish them the very best, organised by Hunt out there. 925 metres less than that right now. Still waiting for the polka dots to just show, and here he comes up on the Moving up on the right-hand side, passing them all, and nobody has the heart to deny him, Sean, which is rather sweet this early in the race.
Yes, well, he pops up again, and yeah, I did not recognise the jersey there, of course. I was forgetting yesterday he had the green jersey. Of course, that's changed. Germay has the green jersey today, so we can see there he just roars off the front here and
Somebody's not happy.
Going to take the maximum.
This, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Kokar. It doesn't look like his style, but nonetheless, just at least making this an honest endeavour. And possibly just wanted to ping on if he's been told to get in the breakaway at the end of this climb. Let's wait and see if that's the case. Abrahamson, who assembled so many points in the opening couple of days by being in the break on both occasions. And why should it be a gift, Sean? As I said, this early in the race, there's a competition to be had, for goodness sake. And he realises he's got company.
Yes, well, we can see Zingel here just coming up to him, but I don't think he will really contest him here as we go inside the final couple of metres here to the intermediates at the mountain classification point. And yeah, I think he will take just a point that's up for grabs here, this man in the polka dot jersey.
Well, Zingler has no points just yet, and I think he's basically saying, no, you can have it, I'm here for the break. There you go. I'm not sure Abrahamson wants to be in a break, Sean. That's his problem.
Well, I don't think he will continue here. He will just pick up the 1 point available, and then I think we expect him to knock off his effort here. And interesting one, Zingel there. Will he continue? Because why did he go on the move? Why did he follow the polka dot jersey first of all? Maybe he's the local boy, I'm not sure. Sometimes we see those guys going up the road. At this point, when you see the way the race is, and yesterday was the situation, the two Frenchmen, they were close to their homes, and that was the reason. And you often see that in the Tour of France.
Yeah, it may well be. And occasionally you get riders just indicating to everyone around them that that's what they intend to do, so please don't chase me down. Wants to stop and say hello to his family. We'll see that potentially. 25 seconds the gap at the moment from Zengler out front. I think Abrahamson will be reabsorbed before you know it. I can't see him pushing on, despite the fact he's extremely well placed within the points competition. You never know. You might fancy re-owning both, but at some point, be a long shot. And so we have dealt with our climb, and they're giving a lot of respect to the corners here, Sean. No surprise.
Yes, well, you have to be careful. We could see there, that taking all the road there in that corner, and that is the way to do it. And it's certainly you don't want to, to slide off there in the corners at this point, especially at any point during the race. And when you're out here, in the front, you know what speed you can go at downhill.
Well, it's a modest gap, as you can see, and the wind that kind of blew up around that squall of rain, Sean, seems to have abated. We might actually be being protected by the knoll that they've just been over, but there is some wide open countryside for us to enjoy shortly. And when that happens, the wind's going to become even more of a factor, and everyone's aware of it.
Yes, well, we're hearing a lot about that wind is blowing, and more so later. We're in the section of the route where it is quite sheltered here. Looks like the flags are after dropping a bit there, and sometimes when a shower blows in, the rain comes in, but also the wind blows with it, and when the shower eases off, then the wind eases off also. But where we are at the moment, to wait a little bit more now until we get into an open section to see what the wind is. But it is there. How much is it? That is the question as we go further into the stage. That's where we're expecting there could be some more open sections, that's certain, and that is where we could see the action because of that side wind.
Well, a bit of pace about us at the moment. This may well just act as a kind of ski jump, really, heading off towards our intermediate sprint, which is rapidly approaching, a competition which is extremely well fought at the moment with its current leader, Biniam Girmay, which is magnificent. Well, time for more magnificence, I think it's fair to say, as Abrahamson really fancies this, Sean. Check this out. He's going to go for the intermediate.
Yes, he is. He's certainly, pushing on here with Zingel, and the two of them are, working well together here. 32 seconds. But yeah, it will be an interesting one out to see the interest in the intermediate sprint point. Those teams, will they start to ride? I don't think they're concerned about this man, for the classement at the end of the tour. So possibly they will just, allow it here, and they could go all the way to the intermediate sprint point, which is what, around the 30-kilometre mark, and pick up maximum for the points classification.
And to take you there, it's Rob Hatch.
Thanks, Carlton. Look at this. Much more entertaining and interesting than the start yesterday. Much in thanks to Jonas Abrahamsson and Axel Zingler. Now, he's a puncher from Mywhoosh, hence the not very French-sounding pronunciation of his surname. Of course, it's right on the border with Germany and Switzerland. He's from Alsace, but as the gentleman was speculating, he lives locally. These are his training roads. From Villefranche-sur-Saône, where his girlfriend lives. He moved here to train a long, long time ago now. So he's, in fact, an adopted local boy, as Magnus Court has a mechanical, gets back on. Zingler, on roads he knows well, is away with Jonas Abrahamsson. Just going to welcome back our television viewers. And in a minute, we'll be welcoming Adam Blythe as well. You're watching live coverage of stage 6 of the Tour de France. Mechanical here for Magnus Court. The sun just starting to poke itself through. Cloudy, drizzly start, as there's almost a start that ended in tears there. Sean, for Magnus Court, good morning.
Yes, we could see there he wanted to go to the right-hand side, but the team cars, are just taking that, and we can see here a little bit too much on here, and yeah, held it very well, and yeah, he escapes, and yeah, we can see there a bit of a smile from him. When you when you get out of that, yeah, you say, oh my God, I was lucky there that I did not go down, because yeah, at that speed, yeah, we can see there the damage it can do. And yeah, Zingel, an interesting one there in the sprint yesterday as well. There was a covetous rider who bunny hopped Pedersen. I think it could have been Zingel, or
it was Zingler.
Yes, and at that speed, those guys, the reaction, the reflex they have to be able to do that, because if you go on the brakes and you try and avoid him, well then your risk of going down or getting hit from another rider from behind. The safest way is to bunny hop over the bike or the man on the road, but at that speed, it's amazing the immediate and that instant reaction.
There's a story behind that, and we'll come to it after we go to this next interview. And marvellous, this local chateau.
Mads Pedersen, many of us was sad to see you on the ground in the barriers yesterday. Can you try to tell us how are you feeling?
Yeah, of course I had better days than today, but taking everything in count, I think everything will be okay. We're not giving up everything we have been working for the last couple of months. So yeah, we keep fighting.
Can you describe the injuries? Are there something that bothers you and concerns you?
Nothing really concerns me, but of course when you lose skin like I did yesterday, and also my shoulder is hurt, so that's far from ideal when you have to perform in the biggest bike race of the world. But that's racing, and yeah, we're looking forward now, and hopefully the injuries will be better day by day and quickly.
From your point of view, what happened yesterday in the sprint?
I opened the sprint on the left, and yeah, I was a bit too far behind, but I still hoped I could grab a few points. I opened the sprint on the left, and suddenly, yeah, we all sprinting on the left side, and I get squeezed in the barrier, and I really tried to brake, but I didn't have time enough.
It's great to still have you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mads Pedersen there, war wounded, and speaking to Anders Milke. Sean was talking about Axel Zingler being able to jump and bunny hop over him. Well, Sean, he began on the mountain bike, which will go some way to explaining the skills there. He went to a local cycling school in Besançon, very close to where he grew up, and he'd actually been aiming to compete at the Paris Olympic Games off-road, but he started road racing a few years ago. He decided that's where he wanted to be, and then he changed direction. And Axel Zanglet, for those of you who weren't watching on Discovery Plus and couldn't see our little chat in the commercial break, he is, of course, from Mulhouse, very close to the German-Swiss border, but he now lives in Villefranche-sur-Saône, which is very close to starting Mâcon. So he's on training roads today, and he's joined Jonas Abrahamsen up the road. They have 1 minute and 4 seconds. And as we welcome Adam Blythe, Adam, it's been a much more nervous start in the peloton today than we saw yesterday.
It's going to be a nervous start, a nervous middle, and a very nervous end today. There is the chance, excuse me, of crosswinds today, and we can just tell by the front of the peloton as it is now, blocked out across the roads. The two big teams at the minute, Visma Lease Bike and UAE, both of them right up there. We've seen Tadej Pogacar right up there. We've seen the world champion Mathieu van der Poel hovering around the front. Philipsen up there, Cavendish up there. This fight, as we can see now, there's a few riders at this moment in time that have just stopped for a nature break. So they're all getting back on, hence why the peloton's a little bit more strung out towards that last 2/3 of it. But this is going to be stressful. Like, there's little exposed sections all over the route today. There's bits that are windier than others. So you can't just say, right, it's going to be windy here, so we'll just move up at that point. I think for the majority of today's stage, if you're a GC rider especially, you're going to have to be in the top 20 all day long because of just in case. With that stress, there becomes crashes. With the crashes become time gaps. That's not what any of them want. So today is just going to be one of these days where you've got to be on. You've got to be switched on all day long. You've got to be concentrated. You've got to make sure you're remembering to eat, remembering to drink, relying on your teammates, getting them to be switched on. These days are, on paper, if there was no wind, a lovely, easy day. But with the wind as it is today, it is just going to cause that stress, that anxiety about what's to come always.
Sean, what's happening here with these two having a conversation? They giving up the ghost already?
Yes, it looks like it, and you can see there, the two of them were, clapping each other on the back there, and it looks like that, they're not going to continue here, and the front of the peloton, I was expecting maybe some of the sprint teams to really start to put on the pressure here on the front of the peloton, but it doesn't look like. It's just, as Adam was talking about, the teams want to keep that good position, and the reason being, the risk of that windy conditions. Everybody want to hold that good place in the peloton, and for that reason, the pace is still real high. And 1:14, back to the main peloton here, and we're still 10+ kilometers from that intermediate sprint point. So we'll have to see now, will they totally knock it off for the moment and go back to the peloton or two leaders out on the road.
Oh, this is the scene at the minute. Wind coming from the west, but they're in a rather more sheltered point. I guess with the wind, you're always looking towards the end of the stage, Adam, and particularly where there's big turns, changes of direction, and of course a distance from the finish where somebody who made a split would think it would be worth then carrying on right until the finale.
Yeah, you'd think so, but you never know. This is a problem with crosswinds in the way they are now. Yes, it's covered, but each and every sports director will have the map on. The wind is coming from their left-hand side for the majority of the day. As we can see, there's a big forest there, there's trees there. As they carry along this road, it is like that for quite a while. It will open up, and it's those sections, it's not that you're going to miss a split and it never come back together early on. It's the effort that you have to make. That then, if you do get behind a split, you've got to make that big effort. Your team's got to make an effort, and if you're a GC rider, you don't want your team to make that effort because you need them later on in the race. There's still so many stages to go. There's so much of this stage to go yet where so much action could happen that you need your team. You need them all around you. So for each and every single one of them with ambition today, if that's time or the stage win, they need to be, as I said, they need to be switched on.
Nico Denz making sure Primož Roglič is at the front, for example, Sean.
Yes, well, that's what we were remarking there. There's a lot of the GC men, their teams up there in the front and just keeping an eye on what's happening. You could see back there just a moment ago as well when the back of the peloton, the riders doing their PP, as we say, and they were all on the bikes, not a lot of riders pulling to the side of the road, and that just tells, they're not confident here to pull over where it's free of spectators and do what they need to do. They're all just getting pushed along or trying, due on a little bit of a downhill, not to lose any ground at all to get back into the peloton. That tells that, yeah, everybody's a little bit anxious for the moment until we get to that intermediate sprint point for the points classification. Then after that, it's possible it will settle down a bit more.
Water just came out of my nose.
Now on the radio between Abramson and the car. How's your Norwegian, Adam?
Tack.
Well, it's one word more than many.
Exactly, which means
Well
thank
played.
you. Flipping out, I had to search deep in the memory bank for that one.
I've got
yeah.
500 metres on the peloton chasing.
Well, 0 points for that one. Adam.
Sean, come off it. I was just about to say how nice it is to be on commentary with you. I feel like I've not spoken to you in a few days, and now you're being like this.
Well, really now, you can't expect to get any points for that.
Amazing word. No, look, Norwegian's such a difficult language, isn't it? I mean, Tor Hushovd, I always used to giggle when I'd hear him speaking Norwegian because it just sounds like they're singing all the time. It's like, hubbity hee, hubbity hoo. It's not like that. Any Norwegians that are listening, I apologise deeply.
.46 seconds and reducing then for Abramson and for Zingler. And again, if you're wondering, I said this to the viewers who are with us on our digital platform, for the benefit of those of you who are aware at the advert, if you're wondering why the name sounds strange, it's because of where he comes from. Elsewhere in France who aren't aware might call him. There's that wind.
It was him yesterday that did the beautiful bunny hop over Mads Pedersen, wasn't it?
We were just talking about that. If you'd have been listening to me and Sean, Adam, yeah.
I was busy, Rob.
Right, all right.
Sorry.
Busy learning Norwegian.
Yep, tack.
Great ride. Thanks for watching.
What a waste of time.
Catch me tomorrow. I have a ride tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday. So
I'm
keep
still
your
trying
eyes
to
peeled.
practice my English. Never mind my Norwegian.
Me and you both. On that point, let's go for a quick commercial break, have we? Well, there's your lot, Adam.
Leeds flag there. Leeds. Yorkshire people understand that. And if you don't, unlucky. Wind's blowing though, wasn't it?
Certainly was.